Yeah, what's good, cryptocurrency fans out there? Welcome back to the Everything Altcoin channel. Today, we're going to be talking about Diem. Now, if you guys have missed Venice, you do not want to miss out on Diem. I think Diem has something very unique that it could bring to that Venice ecosystem for the larger flywheel that goes back into Venice, but has the opportunity to build its own ecosystem, own little stack here, right? If you guys don't know, Venice, they actually did launch Diem as a tradable AI compute asset, where each Diem token represents $1 of compute, where that is Venice API capacity. Is perpetual. It never expires. That's the big thing. It never expires. It never loses value, right? This could be the second chance that you guys are looking for when it comes down to Venice. So let's get right into it. So Diem right now is at a $56 million market cap. It's honestly continuously rising as of right now. You guys can see the circulating supply is 37,000 tokens. So how this works essentially is for you to mint more of this token, for it to come out. As you guys can see, it has an uncapped max supply, but for you to actually mint more of these tokens, you need the Venice token to actually mint more of these tokens, right? So there's some people that have minted a bunch of Diem token, but I believe this is like a slow mint. But also for how it actually worked, for you to get that compute power from Diem, you need to stake your Diem tokens, right? And you guys know, once you stake it, you get that $1 of Diem credit usage per day, and it never runs out. It's across any Venice models out there, right? So that's pretty much how that works. Now, if you're looking at Venice here, Venice right now is sitting around that $824 million market cap. For some people, they feel like this is like gone out, it's done. They can't see more of an upside for Venice as of right now, even though I see this could go a lot higher. It could even do a 10x from here, because as AI agents become more important, as robotics become important, inference, compute, all of that is going to be very important. You guys should watch the video I made on inference and compute becoming a new asset class, what Larry Fink said about it, and that lets you know that Venice is not done yet, right? But for those that actually felt like they missed out on Venice, you can actually look into Diem. I got a comment, they only looked into the price of Diem sitting at $1,500. They thought that it was pretty much gone. I'm like, no, you have to look into it in terms of the market cap. Of course, this price right here is depending on the supply as of right now. This is why you get to see some altcoins with like billions, hundreds of billions of supply, circulating supply, and they're way less than a penny. That's just how that works, right? But you're looking at this at 37,000 circulating supply. I call this pumponomics as of right now, and the way you only make this is by staking the other one. Makes it a little bit different, right? So now, this whole ecosystem that Venice has created, which basically is a decentralized platform for private and uncensored AI, right? Diem is now the compute access layer in that. Together, they created basically a two token system. Venice for the governance and platform upside, they bring in the whole revenue and all of that, while Diem guarantees compute access, right? Now, looking into different things here, you could look into John, who is the head of strategy at Venice here, puts out this tweet. Diem is tokenized inference. Nobody is ready for the full stack that is going to get built on top of this primitive yet. This is an answer to D Farmer here, who puts out this tweet. What's not factored into Venice's trajectory is Diem becoming a de facto new primitive for decentralized, uncensored compute that can be autonomous fuel for truly no man in the middle agentic life and actions. They're basically talking about this being autonomous fuel for AI agents and things like that, right? Now that leads into exactly what John puts out in this tweet here a little bit ago. Diem tokenizes perpetual inference and creates a new blockchain primitive that yields $1 of compute per day, right? There is so much nascent opportunity to build a whole perpetual inference DeFi world on top of this. Just scratching the surface of a few ideas. This is things that you guys could look for that will be building on top of Diem for their DeFi inference services, right? So this is a whole nother flywheel that actually goes into Venice's flywheel as well. So you're looking at it like this: inference markets. Expiring inference credits can be bought/sold at a discount. Surplus is doing that. We talked about that in that whole Inference video. You got Inference lending, renting out unused compute. Inference as high LTV tokenized collateral may be one of the more predictable collateral assets in DeFi. You got Inference leverage, right? Setup that allows you to borrow against your staked Diem and auto buys more Diem capacity when needed to scale. Diem yield markets, various ways that offers those with Diem opportunities to earn from their unused inference, right? Because we know it's not with Diem, we know that compute power is never going to expire. So if people have a surplus of Diem, they could find ways to actually do other things with it. They can, rent it out. They can earn yield on it, whatever it may be, right? You got inference sharing here, agreements between users to loan inference back and forth for specific days or time periods. Then you got inference options, right? Buying / selling the rights to inference for a specific time period, right? So these are things that can actually be built on top of Diem as of right now. These are things that you should be looking for. One already has been out, which is called Surplus. And as you guys can see, this has taken off, right? It's been only out for since the early, midway of May 17th, and it has taken off there, right? This is one that is actually doing the first one, which is inference markets, right? Expiring inference credits can be bought and sold at a discount. That is what Surplus is doing with Diem. Now, there's also another thing that a lot of people aren't even talking about. The co-founder of Clanker put out a new launchpad called Liquid Launchpad. So basically, this new launchpad is a fork of Clanker that uses Diem as a trading pair, which can be used as compute in VVV. But the agents that launch through this launchpad, they can use Diem as compute as well, like that whole $1 of compute per day. That's pretty much what they're doing. And Proxy, which is the actual co-founder of Clanker, as you guys can see here, he launched Liquid, which is going to be the launchpad, and then Autono, I think that's what you want to call it, which is Inference, is another agent as well. So there's some building that's going on as of right now that is including Diem. Now, getting into more Diem talk here, GW Jackson put out this article here, the Diem decision, Venice's path to becoming the AWS of private AI. Now, this is a very long article, so I'm not going to go through all of it. I'm just going to highlight a few things here because it's important for you guys to understand how Diem is working and why Diem could be, if you miss Venice, you do not want to miss out on Diem. So he has this part called the 3-door flywheel in this article, which is essentially explaining how the flywheel could increase the demand for Diem and Venice, right? The first one is basically talking about how users can buy more Diem on the open market, and this essentially bids up the price of Diem, right? And because now that the price of Diem is a lot higher, the demand is higher as well, and people would rather keep their tokens than actually sell it, right? Which also means that the cost to mint these tokens will be much higher because you're going to need more VVV to stake to acquire new Diem tokens. And not only that, that means more VVV is being staked. That means less VVV is going to also be in circulating supply, meaning you're going to have that scarcity asset right there, meaning this also brings up the token economy for Venice higher and for Diem a lot higher as well. Then you got the whole subscription aspect of it on how that can also build into the burns of things and things and like that, right? But then here's where it gets a little interesting here, right? This is where in every case, more consumption produces more value capture, right? This is the ending part. The platform is structured so that scaling usage creates scaling demand for both VVV and Diem, regardless of which channel the user chooses, right? The minter who never uses inference is less valuable to Venice's revenue than the active user who pays for more capacity. But the active user creates more demand for Diem through the consumption, which raises the value of every minter's position. Two cohorts end up indirectly aligned, right? So this basically telling you how the flywheel in Venice is going to play out well for Diem as well. As you guys already know, the more you stake Venice, the more the token comes off circulating supply. The more plans you have, like, the Pro Plus plan, the Max plan for Venice, that also adds into the burns. So meaning the less tokens that you guys have in circulating supply, the harder it is for some people to want to stake these tokens to actually mint more Diem. I think Diem is going to have a amazing opportunity here within this flywheel. And not only that, with the whole DeFi sector, or like kind of inference market that they're kind of building on top of Diem, is very interesting. And that leads us to the other section in this article that talks about the indirect monetization stack. Basically the first pillar being Diem, a lending marketplace, which we talked about from John Shapeshift, right? And next one is the DeFi adoption here, where Diem has a structural property that historically made assets attractive collateral for decentralized lending and derivative platforms. Predictable cash flow, on-chain transparency. You guys already know all of that. These are things that we're talking about in that first post. And the third pillar is the premium tiers on top, right? Fourth pillar is demand match with cap expansion. This is where I think things could get a little interesting for Diem, right? Because the 38,000 Diem target supply is not a constitutional limit. It's a parameter Venice controls. If the company grows inference capacity tenfold over the next 5 years, expanding the Diem cap proportionally allows new SVVV lock. Now, all of that means their token are still worth $365 per year forever. You guys know that sense, the math. $1 of compute per day, 365 days in a year. So you have $365 of compute per year per token, right? The per Diem market price may moderate as scarcity loosens, but the total market cap of Diem system can grow several fold. And he kind of shows it here, right? So 2026, you see that we have about 38,000 tokens in supply, which I showed you guys, which the implied price is about $1,500. That's the market cap right there. Then 2027, if the Diem price supply gets to 75,000, you can look at the implied price right there, but the market cap now grows to about 120. Then 150,000 Diem supply, then implied price will be 2,000, and then the market cap will be 300 million. All right, but this is over time. I think a lot is going to happen between now and 2027, even 2029. I don't know how quickly this supply will get minted, but it's going to be interesting to see how this Diem thing is going to play out. Now, you guys already know I'm going to be asking Asai its thoughts on Diem and the whole inference marketplace. Now, before we get into talking about all of that, I would like to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. We're on the road to 30K subscribers. If you guys would like to help out with that, hit that red subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video, comment what you guys think down below, and while you guys are down here, you guys can hit that Discord link to join the Discord to continue the crypto conversation we're having daily. And you guys can ask your questions on how does that Patreon group works. As you guys know, we have been getting into some bangers of plays. We've been flipping these microcaps, turning extra cash into dry powder, more dry powder for us to get ready to DCA into our favorite altcoins. And you guys know we've been killing it with the whole inference and things like that. We started off with pod here. We killed that pod trade, right? If you was there, you would have got a nice little gain here, but we also been flipping a lot of microcaps here. But the thing is, with my group, you don't just get calls, because that lasts as like the bull market and bear market fluctuate and things like that. But the best selling point for this whole Patreon is the terminal that you guys get access to through the Patreon, right? This terminal gives you AI analysts to build and manage your portfolio. You get to track smart money. You get to watch, pretty much get a community watch list. You get the token unlocks. You get everything in this terminal here that will help you from the bear to the bull to the bull to the bear, right? And you guys can watch that video. There's a demo on how to use it, and then you also get that code ASAI 2026 for 40% off your first month to test out the group, test out the terminal, see if it's for you guys. And lastly, after all that trading we've done, you guys can also use a Tangent wallet. You guys can store your cryptocurrency here. You guys can store your USDT, USDC, because with this cold storage wallet, it also doubles down as a debit card. So all the extra cash you're making, you guys can actually spend it here. Use code everything altcoin. And let's continue on with the video here. So I asked Asai, right? The tokenized inference angle is actually the real bull thesis here. It's more sophisticated than most people realize. What tokenized inference actually means: Venice model flipped the AI compute business on its head. Instead of renting out API credits that expire, Diem makes AI inference capacity a permanent tradable asset. You buy Diem, you hold a claim to $1 of, Venice API capacity per day forever. That claim is ERC20, and so it's transferable, tradable, and stakeable, right? The inference does not happen until you use it, which means you're holding a call option on AI compute that you can sell to someone who needs it more than you do right now. That's a part of the pillar that we talked about from what John Shapeshift put out, right? The categories are different from render, where you're renting out your GPU, not owning the compute. BitTensor, you're speculating on subnet incentive distribution, not holding claims to the token. Akash, open cloud marketplace, not a fixed denomination asset layer. Diem's fixed $1 denomination design is the key insight. Not buy AI compute and hope for the price to go up. It's buy $1 of API capacity, and the value accrues from usage density, not from Diem's price appreciation. If Venice hits 10 million in API calls per day, that $1 claim is still worth $1 capacity. The price of Diem trades relative to the demand of the capacity, not relative to the token supply mechanic. Now, this is where some things get actually pretty interesting, because the side kind of brought a new angle here, right? With the X402 angle and now the base MCP angle. You guys already know Base introduced their MCP. If you guys don't know, I'll leave the video in the cards up top for you guys to check it out. This is where the thesis get turbocharged. Base just announced MCP integration, the model context protocol, Anthropic standard for how AI agents connect to tools and data. Combined with X402 agentic payments and Kobo wallets, Base now has a full agentic stack. Agents can pay via X402, hold funds programmable wallets, discover services through the App Store, and connect to external data via MCP. Now ask yourself, this is a very serious question here. Ask yourself, what do these agents need to run? It's inference, it's compute. And this is where the inference layer on Base, which is Venice, and Diem becomes a settlement token for agentic interface on Base. Every agent that needs to run inference can pay in Diem or use Diem denominated capacity. As X402 App Store scales, Diem demands scales with it. This could get interesting if that actually plays a part. That's the X402 to Venice to Diem pipeline that nobody is pricing in yet. If that happens, guys, it's about to get crazy. Now you guys can see the whole numbers here, but the bear and bull case here. For the bull case, MCP plus X402 stack creates structural demand for Venice interface, right? Diem becomes the settlement layer. VVV staking growth equals demand. Diem supply more constraint, can't be minted without locking SVVV. AI compute demand is secular trend. Copper surging equals data center building out, accelerating. No dilution risk, clean tokenomics. Now the bear, this is where, we get a little bear case. Venice needs to win the inference war against OpenAI, Anthropic, Grok, and other providers. I don't believe that to be so true, because it actually gives users access to all of them pretty much, and is decentralized, it's private. So I don't believe that it needs to win. As long as they continue to do good, people are look for alternative solutions to get access to that, right? And that's where you're going to have these big platforms where you guys can actually use those platforms and get access to these models, these inferences, right? So that's where Venice actually could win, right? Base, X402, and MCP stack is still very early. Adoption metric doesn't exist for the MCP stack yet. Diem's liquidity is concentrated on one DEX, which is their Aerodrome. If VVV/Diem pair gets thick, that changes, but it's not there yet. Microcap AI narrative needs BTC to stabilize before it re-rate. Now that's it right there. As you guys can see, I believe that actually Diem has a potential here to get not overtake Venice or anything, but actually create its own little ecosystem for itself, own little flywheel that brings demand to Diem, because we've seen it through the pillars, we've seen it through the potential things that could be built on top of Diem. I think at a $56 million market cap here, we can see this even 10x becoming like a $560 million market cap, which isn't too bad, right? And I believe that Venice is honestly going to grow from here. I think I could see Venice around 10 billion market cap, depending on the way the bull market is going to look. Of course, a lot more adoption has to come into Venice, but it has its own flywheel that's going to create scarcity over time, meaning we can see this pump. And honestly, this is one of those tokens that a lot of people in mainstream has been talking about. You guys seen it already with Hyperliquid and things like that. You can compare those market caps to Venice's market cap, and you can see there's a potential that Venice has some growth, right? And with Venice's growth means there's going to be big growth for Diem as well. So even at a $560 million market cap, we could even see this go a little higher. If we see Venice at like 10 billion, right? Obviously, this is just tinfoil. We don't know. We don't have a future projection or anything like that on where these market caps could go. But if we see Venice at like 10 billion, right? 10 billion market cap, we could see Diem anywhere from 1 billion to 2 billion. That's just me thinking out loud, but I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And if you guys haven't subscribed there yet, please do so. We're on that road to 30K subscribers. If you guys want to help out with that, hit that red subscribe button. I'll check you guys later. Peace, YouTube.